I don't know. This is, I've been saying this pretty repeatedly over the last 24 hours. This is the beginning. This is not the end of the fight. This is the start of a long 4 years. One way or another. We need to be focused. We need to, like Wendy said, midterm elections, local city council elections are the priority. Not letting your representatives and your senators in Washington think that they are unopposed by their constituents at home is key. And remembering to listen above all. And this is specifically to the white women who are, who came out in droves for the march, who are now super excited about doing something. Listen to the women of color in your circle. If you don't have any in your circle, frickin' find some and listen. Don't talk. Don't get defensive. Let go of the idea that when a woman of color says, where y'all been? We've been doing this for a while. Don't feel like you need to speak up and be like, well, I didn't vote for Trump. Yeah, we know that. That's fine. Now what are you going to do? And your job specifically is to listen to all of these women who came out in droves for Hillary, knowing that she wasn't perfect, knowing that she wasn't maybe their preferred candidate. And the bottom line is 53% of white women failed themselves, they failed their daughters, they failed their children, and they failed this country. And whether you voted for Trump or not, carry that weight, because that's our responsibility to carry.
Kelly, do you have anything to add?
I do. Going off of the whole fact that we white women need to show up, we also need to start showing up in our own communities. Most of all, we are not doing this. So sure, a lot of us have the luck of having a pretty easy 9 to 5 Monday through Friday gig. A lot of people don't. And we need to start going to our city, our local townships, all these board meetings that they have, and we need to start saying that if people can't go, we need to show up for them. Find out what our neighbors' concerns are within our community and go to these meetings. And if we can't make these meetings, then we need to start making stinks, and we need to start telling our local boards that we need to have meetings at an appropriate time. It's one of the problems I see a lot here, where we have township meetings, we have county boardship meetings at obscene times and days, where it's 9 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock lunchtime or Wednesday afternoons at 3 o'clock when kids are being picked up from school. And we need to start screaming that these times need to change so the community can show up. And if we can't show up and we refuse to change them, we need to start screaming that they are hosted online or put on YouTube or another appropriate time frame. They have to do this, and they have to be able to make sure that we can comment, and we need to start demanding that they do that. And we need to start showing up for the people who can't or don't have computer access. We need to start being able to voice for them as well.
Erin, what about you? What are your final thoughts on this?
Just keep getting out there. Don't let that momentum drop. It's, as we've all been saying, it's a marathon. This is going to be a long fight, and we got to gear up and get ready.
I had one more thing that I wanted to add that piggybacks on to what Katie was saying and what everybody else has been saying. In addition to listening and to including and to owning our own privilege, we have to include trans women, and especially trans women of color. They are one of the most marginalized groups. The rate of suicide and the rate of murder among trans women and trans women of color especially is just insane. And so often in the feminist movement, they are looked upon as not included as women, and they are. I mean, that's as simple as it is. We have to include them, and we have to listen, and we have to make sure that they are a priority as well, because not only are they fighting the patriarchy and the government and everything else, but they're also fighting other women who don't see them as equal. And that's just something that we have to change.
Well, I think that wraps it up for us tonight, ladies. I think a lot of good things were said here tonight. There's definitely a lot of frustration still, but there's a lot of hope too, which is really, really important. And nothing shows that more than, again, the turnout with a lot of these women's marches. And it does show that there is still a lot of people willing to stand up and fight all of the wrong that is already started or that is to come with our current president and his administration. So again, just like everybody else said, stay vigilant. Don't be lazy on this. Stay active and get out there, and let's try to be the change. Thank you guys so much for listening tonight. This has been Nasty Women Nation, and you guys have an awesome night. We'll catch you guys next time.